Robb Elementary School in Uvalde is now an epicenter of grief and heartbreak after authorities say the alleged gunman, an 18-year-old armed with an AR-15 style weapon, stormed inside a classroom, barricaded himself inside, and opened fire on defenseless students and teachers.
I just don't understand how people could sell that type of a gun to a kid, to an 18-year-old. Like, what is he gonna use it for? But for that purpose.
Authorities say the suspected gunman had just turned 18 on May 16th, days later buying 2 AR-15 style rifles. His grandfather telling ABC's Matt Gutman he had no idea the weapons had been purchased and that there was a plan to commit violence.
I didn't know he had weapons or nothing or this or that there. If I would have known, I would have reported him.
Police say that what President Biden described as carnage in that school began with the gunman allegedly shooting his own grandmother in the forehead. She survived. Authorities say he then stole her truck from the home, crashed it outside Robb Elementary, and then emerged from the vehicle wearing body armor and then shot a Uvalde school police officer who responded.
When he sees the students and our teacher, that's when he starts shooting at the window.
In the days leading up to the attack, authorities say the gunman reportedly sent pictures and videos of guns to users on various social media platforms. Several users also telling ABC News the suspect had been abusing animals and showing videos of that abuse to others on social media. This afternoon, Governor Abbott elaborating on the case, saying that the suspect had no known mental health issues, though. Abbott adding that the suspect made no mention that he was going to do anything until 30 minutes before the attacks.
Posted by the gunman on Facebook approximately 30 minutes before reaching the school. He said, "I'm going to shoot my grandmother." The second post was, "I shot my grandmother."
The messages Governor Abbott describes were private one-to-one text messages that were discovered after the tragedy occurred. They are now part of a sprawling investigation.
Well, Mia, authorities say Ramos bought the weapons legally just last week, and the only clear warning of his plans came on social media only about a half an hour before the carnage. In a trio of Facebook messages beginning around 11 Tuesday morning, Salvador Ramos, officials say, made his intentions known.
"I'm going to shoot my grandmother. I shot my grandmother. I'm going to shoot an elementary school."
In his grandmother's truck, officials say, Ramos drove from her home towards the school and crashed the pickup in a nearby ditch, where a school resource officer briefly confronted the suspect before he went inside a back door.
He went down a hallway, turned right, then turned left, and there was 2 classrooms that were adjoining. And that's where the carnage began. Authorities say a tactical team of local and federal officers arrived a short time later and stormed the classroom, killing the teenage gunman. They say he had legally purchased 2 AR-style rifles last week from a local sporting goods store, along with 375 rounds of ammunition, all after just turning 18.
One who shoots his grandmother in the face has to have evil in his heart. But it is far more evil for someone to gun down little kids. It is intolerable and it is unacceptable for us to have in the state anybody who would kill little kids in our schools.
Thank you. Former Congressman and gubernatorial candidate Beto O'Rourke interrupting Governor Abbott this afternoon during a news conference about the shooting.
This is on you until you choose to do something different. This will continue to happen.
You heard people yelling back at O'Rourke. One of those people was Uvalde's mayor. O'Rourke was then escorted out of the room, but says the parents of the victims are owed action to prevent mass shootings.
I'm calling attention to this, and I'm asking all Texans of good conscience, and I could care less whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent, to stand up right now for yourself, for your kids, for our families, and to stop the next shooting just like this one.
Yeah, the NRA is not canceling their convention slated for this weekend, despite calls for them to do so. Houston's Mayor Sylvester Turner also says the city would not be able to cancel the convention, citing legal issues, but questions why some Republican lawmakers are going to attend the event on the heels of one of the worst mass shootings in the history of Texas. So far, Governor Greg Abbott, Senator Ted Cruz, among other Texas Republican lawmakers, are slated to speak. But among those that have pulled out of the appearing for various reasons are Senator John Cornyn, Representative Dan Crenshaw, and musical artist Don McLean. And we are now learning that former President Donald Trump will come to Houston to speak at the NRA convention this weekend.
Since the news broke of this senseless tragedy, I keep looking at my 5-year-old daughter and thanking God that she's here. Because there's 19 parents that can't do that. And my heart goes out to them, those poor babies, and their 2 teachers. The fact that this keeps happening and the government still refuses to do anything about it is ridiculous. Mass shootings often raise a lot of feelings that range from sadness to heartbreak to anger to frustration. They also usually lead to a public conversation about gun laws and what our government can and should do. Now, in 2012, after the mass shooting of 20 young children and 6 adults at the Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newton, Connecticut, President Obama proposed a legislation to overhaul gun laws. The proposal included universal background checks, new and expanded assault weapons, and high-capacity magazine bans and other measures to prevent mass shootings. Several months later, it failed to pass the Senate. Gun-related injuries are responsible for tens and thousands of deaths and injuries every year in the United States. And in 2020, it was a leading cause of death among children and teenagers. The Texas shooting, which was the 27th school shooting this year so far, has resonated calls for tighter gun laws. Sandy Hook was 10 years ago, y'all. Something should have been done then dealing with gun control. People shouldn't have to worry or live in fear just to go grocery shopping, go to a spa, a church, a movie theater, a concert, Walmart, a club or a lounge, or school. Kids and teachers shouldn't have to worry about harm while they at school. You know, this is my daughter's first year in school, and each day before I drop off, I pray over her that God keep her safe from seen and unseen danger during the duration she's in school until I pick her up. I have taught her how to respond if a gunman entered her school or when we out and about in the public. It's a shame that we have to do that, but you better do it, because we live in different times now. You know, children and elderlies used to be off limits, but not anymore. I'm tired of seeing the same cycle. A mass shooting occurs, media attention, thoughts and prayers to the victims and families, social media gun debates. No one actually does anything. Back to the normal until another mass shooting happens. It's going to happen again, y'all. We just had one last week. 3 last week. How many times do we have to say thoughts and prayers until something happens with these laws? I'm hoping action is taken, but with the way the government is set up, I highly doubt it will. The conversation probably wouldn't even be about gun control and more about mental health issues, and use major cities like Detroit, New York, California as an excuse or a distraction. What's it going to take? Maybe a politician's life that's directly affected by gun violence? I mean, this is sad to say, but it's true. The fact that past mass shootings haven't brought on any type of reform is appalling. This and so many other tragedies get turned into political talking point for votes. The majority of politicians seem so far removed from reality that this tragedy will be forgotten by mid-June. America is turning darker with all the violence and anger. These politicians and lawmakers are not going to do anything. These gun companies are lining their pockets. They don't want to upset their voters, mainly white males, due to the Second Amendment, because these white males fear that someone would take their toys, their guns away from them, and it would end the world. How will they fight against the big black man or the brown man? They believe deep down that without their guns, everybody they've stolen from centuries on up will rise against them, and they wouldn't stand a chance. These white male politicians too busy making laws to protect unborn fetuses, they completely annoy and let these innocent, already alive children get murdered. If Roe versus Wade is on the chopping block, I think the Second Amendment can be looked at as well. We are all idiots if we let nothing change and expect different results. I was sitting at my desk today trying to figure out what can I do. This isn't going to end. There will be more school or public spaces shootings out there. Congress in DC isn't going to be making all the laws in your area. It was the lawmakers in Texas and also here in my state of Georgia who thought it was a great idea to make it easier for anyone in the damn state to pick up a gun and just open carry. So yes, you do need to go out there and vote. Vote on your local election because those are the people who run the day-to-day. That will affect you more. If Texas was so stuck in their ways and voted these you-know-what's out, there might possibly be a chance of some type of change. Abbott and the good old boys today at the press conference looking like a Klan meeting in order. They don't care. But someone do need to get Abbott an Oscar for his performance. Well, at least Beto has the courage that each and every politician in America should have. We need to get loud as hell about this violence and do not care about being nice and speaking nice about it, and let's do something about it. Watching these press conferences is like watching people in denial and dancing around the real issue. All I hear from these people are passing the buck. The United States is failing at gun control and people are dying, period. A solution to these mass shooting and gun violence should be talking about and working towards. No, they want to talk about everything else. Who cares? Gun control will fix the problem. Also, a reporter asked Texas AG his solution for the mass shooting. This bastard says, arming teachers. Literally anything but tackling the actual issue. Teachers shouldn't have to arm themselves. That's not something they sign up for in their career. They want underpaid, unappreciated teachers to now be tackle shooters. I mean, this place is getting ridiculous. The fact is that unless you are a military and you go into war, no one needs these semi-automatic rifles, not even for self-defense. They can blame mental health or whatever they want. But an 18-year-old does not need to have easy access to guns. In fact, most people don't. In order to attain a gun permit, you should have a mental health evaluation and a background check. It's harder to get a job in the United States than it is to get a gun. At least with most jobs, you need a basic background check. Our country lost 19 babies, 2 adults on yesterday who had their whole lives taken from them. Mothers and fathers have had their whole world destroyed yesterday, and I can't imagine how they're going to move on. That evil animal walked in and killed an entire class. My Lord. Hold on closer to your babies tonight. Pray over them. Because tomorrow ain't promised. I hope the families can heal with time. But I don't know. My heart and prayers goes to the parents, families, students, the staff, and that community. God bless you all. All right, guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let's continue the conversation down below in the comments. Make sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss an upload. I'm Lady T. I'll catch you the next time. Be blessed. Bye.